Oh, sorry, I needed a little bit longer break after that last one. But here we go into game number 5. The Flam Flam Flam. Commit to game number 5 on ESV Muspelheim. Over set number 2 from Chobo Team League week number 5 between Team Kessel and Galaxy. Spawning in the lower right-hand position, playing for Galaxy. His team recently had the series tied up on them 2-2. Can he give them the lead back? It is Diplodicus. And spawning across from him in the upper left-hand corner, playing for Team Kessel in the purple color, he plays Zerg. It is SleepyPanda. So for Team Kessel, we've had SleepyPanda, we've had CamPanda earlier. I wonder if the two are related somehow. I know that you guys are actually in the chat, so maybe you can let me know. Is there any relation between SleepyPanda and CamPanda? Diplodicus sending out an early out as you're want to do easy. You want to check to make sure that your opponent isn't cheesing you so that you can go for a very safe route at the bottom of your ramp. Or if you get there early, you can block his expansion with a pylon. But we see SleepyPanda shenanigans as of yet. And of course hasn't determined if he wants to go pool or hatchery first. Diplodicus checking down there just to make sure there's no sneaky hatchery. Although I don't think you can actually have it out, even if you were to go something stupid like 6 hatchery. That would be something to try out a co-op versus AI game. Can you go 6 hatchery and still win versus an AI? But we see SleepyPanda sees his opponent on it as natural, so he's just going to go take his third. Not a big deal. Whatever. He's going to take that later anyway. So Diplodocus will probably start getting suspicious before long. Drone comes down. This is kind of a natural timing for that expansion as well. Drone does beat Rogue head-to-head, so he's going to have to back off. He does plant down that pylon, and now both players can go back about their business. Diplodocus, meanwhile, has secured what he'll think is an earlier nexus for himself, and there's actually, that's a good scout by him. And he should notice that there's no overlord here. He may be able to put down a cannon, although alerting his opponent to the fact that his probe is still there, not quite what you want to do if you are going for that sort of cheese style. But there is the Nexus coming down. There's the Overlord. Of course, he can do exactly nothing about that over as he just kind of floats away. Now drone coming up to respond to the unnatural expansion for SleepyPanda, nearly done, and the probe from Diplodocus is going to come in and see the pool. Nearly done, no gas. So he'll see one gas. Okay. So he'll see one gas, and no, nothing too out of the ordinary is up. This is normal timings for everything, especially if he continues around and he sees the spawning pool. Oh, getting surrounded. Will the probe get taken out? It will, so he actually didn't see the spawning pool. You should probably know that it exists. I mean, it's pretty important to have those. But we'll see where he wants to go from here. Interesting for fast expansions on this map. You can actually just wall off entirely, and then use the destructive rocks your way down. We'll see if that's kind of what go for. I think he can put his cybernetics core here, and just be completely walled off, or he can place it a little bit differently and not be. There we go. Kind of an interesting arrangement of builds. Something I have actually enjoyed and never seen anybody really use on this map is there's space back behind the main. You can do some wicked cannon rushes on this map from back there, or some, I don't know, bunkers or something, or siege tanks even. Look into that, Terran Protoss players of the world. That would be kind of interesting to see later on. So I'm probably up at the third base. This is kind of an interesting positioning for it. I think if that ball were to come around, it would just kind of sit here, even stalkers and shoot stuff. But of course, it's a little bit early yet, as we do have our first sell it out, which is the first unit of the match. And two Zerglings have been made, and it was able to take out the pylon and take this base. So, a little bit under 6 minute third base for SleepyPanda. The ordinary, and I feel pretty confident in having those 3 bases, fairly comfortable in this game. Now, robotics facility added on by Diplodicus is his first, I guess his second unit producing structure. He does have his gateway. And this is kind of interesting. He's equal constantly dispersing his Crow Boost between his +1 upgrade and his Warp Gate, and that will tend to indicate pressure. Of course, this is so really might be because he really wants his Warp Gate and his +1, but typically that means that you want to hit the timing with your Warp Gate, with your +1. We'll see how many gateways he wants to add on later on. He is going to a total of 3 with his robotics facility. And it's kind of interesting because the way prototypes have gone, they're tending to favor less and less unit-producing structures, so much that now we're back to 1-base builds on 2 bases. There's 4-gate pressure on 2 bases, there's 3-gate robo on 2 bases. It's kind of fun. SleepyPanda, meanwhile, has no intention of staying on low-tech. He's going up to layer 740, a little bit earlier than you'll tend to see, not nearly as early as some players that I know. Hey, I know he's watching. We do see gas geysers number 3 and 4. So he's up to a total of 4. He's only landing out of 3, but up to a total of 4 gas geysers. He has that layer done. Let's be for Mutalisks. Mutalisks are pretty good on this map. There's a lot of surface area they can harass. If you think about the front here, if you think about the front here, once they hit a 3rd base, like there's a lot of area. So I'd say Mutalisks probably going to be the choice. So I wouldn't rule out Infestors. And there's the Spire. There's the Rotorn being added on just for safety. More or less, I think he'll want to stay on Zerglings at least for a little bit longer in case of defense. You see, it doesn't really look like a pressure build coming out. Up to 5 gateways in a robo doesn't scream pressure to me. But he can go for a little bit of attack with this +1 armor upgrade. And +1 armor with your Immortals is pretty fantastic, because they just won't die. And never mind, we're going to have 7-gate robo. And this will definitely be pressure. And strangely enough, we actually see Diplodicus way up in supply right now. That's mostly due to spending resources. Floating 1,000 at this point in the game. Not great macro so far from Sleepy. He does have his double Evo chamber, and if you look, he's actually up by a drone. But Spire about to finish, and that might change everything. We see the gas saved up for that, so he can put up 9 Mutalisks if he wants them, if he has the for them. Let's actually check. He's got 20 larvae. So he could get out 9 Mutalisks, and 9's a pretty significant number. You can start doing a lot of nice harassment. Unfortunately, Diplodocus really gearing up for this attack. He's going to have that 30 Immortal and the +1 armor at about the same time. I heard a Changeling die, and there's still one up in the main, so he has seen a lot of this production. He doesn't see the other 2 gateways over here, unfortunately, but SleepyPanda should know there's a little bit of pressure headed his way. 11 Mutalisks in production, as well as 34 Zerglings from SleepyPanda, and I heard another die. It was the one up in the main. So Diplodocus adding on all his pylons in preparation for his move. I'm a little bit worried about Immortals actually getting out of this choke point, but I guess we'll find out. And Mutas have been spotted by the Observer. It was over here. It looks like it's been shot down since then. But Stalker's trying to move into position to defend, and they have to take a really circuitous route, so they're actually not going to quite be here in time. This is enough Mutalisks, 10 Mutalisks, to actually take on the Stalkers if he wants to. With these cannons he won't. But now coming around, he just spot the couple of extra warp gates to take down a couple of these probes. Excuse me. Oh, that was nasty. But sniping sentries, that's so key to this move out. And all 5 of the sentries have gone down. He loses quite a few mutas in the process, but that's so worth it for SleepyPanda. We immediately see more sentries being forced. Sentries are what you want, especially if it's making a bunch of Mutalisks. You see SleepyPanda, of course, kind of neglecting his mutas. He could make 7 more if he had the gas for them. And a little bit light on drones, that might come back to hurt him. 47 drones to 53 probes. Diplodocus is going to be fine economically. These sentries, he can still do this move out if he wants to, and it looks like he's going to. I'm not sure he can actually engage all the mutas head on, although he has added on more stalkers since the last time he set up his Wilson at the Watchtower. Nice force field, cutting off a lot of these Zerglings. Where's the targeting? There's no targeting on these mutas, so if they're able to survive through this fight, they will be able to clean everything up. And SleepyPanda doing a nice job. These Zerglings, they're trying to target something rather than just get the surround that they had. Now finally getting the surround, starting to take down a lot of these units. The muta count has gotten significantly lower, and now is actually out of Zerglings. So it looked like just a little bit of a micro mistake there from SleepyPanda. The units all looked like, the Zerglings all looked like they were trying to take down an Immortal right in the middle. So instead of attacking, they were just kind of moving around the outside rather than taking down a lot of the stalkers at the periphery. And now Diplodocus has a stronger army starting to move in. What's in production is more and more Zerglings. Does he have enough? He actually has for 3 force fields, it looks like. And that might be enough to sort of take care of this push. You do see the Zerglings getting in. This is a pretty nice round. Again, it looks like they're just kind of running around the units rather than actually attacking. The one Mutalisk going to be shot down. And there's the Warpism again from Diplodocus. Morphing in more and more Zealots to try and deal with the Mutalisk. Not the Mutalisk, the Zergling count. And now there's nothing really to defend for SleepyPanda. 112 supply to 83. His coach is in production. May catch his opponent off guard, but again, there's 3 Immortals here, so that's not going to do too. Drones transferring up to the 4th base, but a couple of them do go down. And now Diplodocus, I would say, is in a fantastic position. 2 base all-ins, very strong on the staff. We've seen exactly why here. Now the rest of the army moving in. These couple of roaches going to be dealt with. SleepyPanda starting to micro back. He's picking off a couple of Zealots with his target firing, but it's just not going to matter. There's even a force field just to make sure they don't run too fast. Stalkers even getting distracted, shooting down Overlords. Here comes the drone pull. Actually not being pulled. They're just trying to transfer. And trying to stay in this game a little bit longer. I'm not sure there's any sort of bulletproof that he could make at this point. Maybe if he was able to sneak out 10 to 11 Mutalisks, he could start to engage on these Stalkers, but I don't think it's going to happen for SleepyPanda. Diplodocus now 124 supply to 35. We're down to 54 to 29. And yeah, we're just kind of waiting for GG. There's no counterattack possibility. He has planted down another hatchery on the opposite side of the map, but it's a little too late from SleepyPanda. Another hatchery going down just to prolong this game. But now Protoss gets up in the main, starting to take structures. There goes the Roach Warren. Queen's going to go down, so I believe that's it in terms of Queens as well. For those Nerva injects. The Lair going to be targeted down, although we see the second one's on, as well as a Macro Hatchery and another Roach Warren. Just to try some sort of blast stand. Diplodocus actually hasn't been micro very well. Those are force fields trapping a couple of these. Now he's actually trapped himself in his opponent's base for the time being. And the Spire and the Spottle are still alive, but again, not the biggest deal. Now we're sitting 18 supply to 136. Zealots have come up, able to target down in the Macro Hatchery. This is actually a really good position for the Zealots. The drones actually are fighting. More Zealots and Immortal, a Stalker coming up here to take down the rest of the buildings. Matterhorn just angrily leaving the game. Team Kessel. As is Touche. I believe they've seen enough. SleepyPanda, though, still alive. A couple of Mutalisks popping, trying to do what they can. There's finally GG from SleepyPanda. And SleepyPanda has left the game. So a nicely played game by Diplodocus with the 2 base on. I would say just a little bit of a micro mistake costing SleepyPanda. I think he had the army engagement that happened by the Watchtower. The Zerglings had this, but they're trying to target down an Immortal in the middle, and instead we're just kind of running around the outside without doing any damage to the Protoss army. But Team Galaxy, 3-2 lead, their second lead of the contest, and we're going to close up the series in the next game. It'll be our second gold series in game, or second gold match, excuse me. Game number 6 headed your way in just a second. You're watching Chobo Team League, hosted by Meristematic.